Final push. I'm gonna hit that lighthouse, that little house there, little covering. Hey runners, Coach Holly here. I just parked at a trailhead. I'm taking you for a 20-minute follow along trail run today. It's gonna be awesome. It's a beautiful day out. A little hot, but we're gonna get through it. We're gonna start with a little warm up here. I'm just gonna get ready, get my stuff together. Whew. And after that dynamic warm up, I'm gonna take you right into the trails. You're gonna just enjoy the scenery and follow along on your run. Let's do it. All right, so we gotta get warm. A lot of us have a 20-15 minute drive to our trailhead or wherever we're going. So we wanna make sure we're nice and loose in the hips and the upper body before we get going. So let's do this. Just start with a couple knee hugs in place. Just driving that knee up to the top, step it down, and you're just gonna push those hips forward just right here. Couple, start to get that blood flow through the front of the hip flexor. A lot of my warm-ups start with this, as you guys have seen before, but it's one of my favorites. One more. Good, we're gonna stand on one leg here. We're just gonna circle that ankle 10 times. I know on this trail it's super technical, so we wanna make sure we have that malleability in the ankles and feet to really catch our balance, especially on those little roots, those rocks. We don't wanna get knocked over. If I wipe out today on camera, you guys will have a good show as part of your follow along run. Good, let's take it to a couple air squats. Start shallow, keep those feet straight ahead, those knees go out to the side. And again, getting those quads firing, you're gonna just drive straight into the ground, push through, just like that, touching that balance. And then this is the point where I start to bring that belly button into the spine. Because I'm gonna need that core on the whole time we run here today. Let's go 2 and 1. Let's get that heart rate up a little bit. So a couple of jumping jacks in place. Start to get that deeper breathing. Last few. And then we'll take 10 hops in place. Just light on those toes. You're just gonna kiss the heels to the ground. Shake out those arms. Good. And now some arm circles. So we're gonna start small. Little circles here, ribs are in, getting a little bit bigger. Nice and big, just reaching all the way back with those arms. Good. Fingers get a little tingly, that's good. We want that blood flow all the way from the neck out to the fingers and reverse. Starting small, breathe. A little bigger. And then I'm gonna do this, reach back with those thumbs. Try to get that full circle to the top and done. Last thing I want you guys to do is a leg swing to a lunge. Standing on one leg again, we get that balance back. Opposite arm is leg. I kind of cross forward, swinging that back leg to open the hip. When I come to the front, I'm getting the hamstring of that leg. Hip and hamstring. Let's go 4 more. Good, and kick it back. I want you to reach that same leg that's back, arm over. We're just gonna hit that lunge. Good. Breathe. Let's go 3 more. 3, 2, shake from the side, and 1. Switching legs, here we go. Same thing, my balance is worse on this side as you can see, so I'm just gonna feel that out. If you fall over, no big deal, just catch your steps again. And again, swinging back with that hip. And trying to tap with that front arm. Opposition, this will also warm up your arm swing. Woo, last 2. And kick it back, same thing. Arm over top, that same one that's back. And what we're doing here is we're gonna squeeze the glute and we're gonna stretch to the front of the hip. That's all that pulse is. 2. Good, we're gonna do 6 of these. Last 2, 5, and 6. All right, you guys, if you need more drills, go to it. Get whatever you need. We're gonna grab our water and everything, and then we're headed out for that run. All right, so there's a lot of trail options here. The map's right here. I love to double check that before I go and take a photo of it in case you get lost along the way. So we're starting up at this trailhead, and we have some loop options. A longer loop would take us about 4.5 miles around. We're gonna do less than that today. I'm actually gonna do a little out and back on that trail, the Mossy Ridge Trail. We're gonna look for paint marks on the trees to make sure we're on track here. You guys just enjoy, follow along with me, pause the video anytime if you need an extra break or a sip of water. Let's go. All right, we are off. Got my mom here with me, and we're going for that little trail run here, you guys. Starting nice and easy. I just want to show you the beginning is just a nice little dirt path up from the parking lot. So we'll start nice and slow. And once we hit those tree roots and the rocks, we'll make sure to slow down, pick our feet up, so there are no accidents, because nobody likes that. Okay. Okay, checking both ways. Sure we're ready to go. We're coming right up here, crossing over to the trail and taking it up. All right. All right, getting a feel for this trail. You guys can see it gets pretty rooty around here. So my advice for that is just, if you're on somewhere like this, go real small steps. Keep those arms swinging. And I mean, start real slow, just as you get a feel when you start to get comfortable, you know, and it smooths out, then take off, you know, and feel it out. You guys might be wondering why I brought a whole pack for 2.5 mile run. I'm someone, this is a newer trail for me. I like to be hands-free, you know, besides this camera, and just have my water on me at all times. You don't know, especially in the summer, why risk it? And then, you know, it just becomes this hassle to not have what you need. And I can, of course, put my phone and my keys and all that stuff, maybe extra sunscreen, although this is a very shaded trail. All right, and see these paint marks here? I'm gonna follow to make sure I'm sticking to the trail that I want. So, turn around, mom's good, all right. And I'm gonna keep running here, all right. Beautiful day out here. You know, summers can get super excruciatingly hot, but if you find the right shaded trail, you know, you feel like you're actually escaping the heat rather than getting out into it. So the cool thing about the trail we picked is it's a loop technically, so I'm actually going down a side I didn't go before, so I can explore something new, which is always a fun way to kind of reverse things as I move both ways. All right. As I get more dialed in with where I'm gonna run for my longer runs, as I get into training for that 100 miler, I'll know, okay, I'll do 3 loops of this, 2 loops of this, you know, that kind of thing, so you have options and can kind of build the route out yourself. Tricky, see? So that red mark right there Tells us we missed that little turn right there, so we're gonna turn it back around. Okay, all right guys, little detour. Like I said, one of my newer trails, I'm figuring it out. You just keep running along, you don't have to deal with this, it's all my problem. Gonna wind up here. Breathing's feeling good because we did that little warm up. I noticed if I just jump out of the car, 20-minute ride, and I try to bounce into a trail run, it's not gonna be pretty. I just know myself. Make sure to stop that watch again. Okay, so here we go, big climb to start. I'm just thinking about pushing my hips forward, using this other arm, wind me up, and actually on trails, if you guys stick to the outside of the roots, you're able to kind of clear some of that technical out of the way. More red, we know to follow. Now I do. Here we go. All right, little flat section. Super pretty, I'll show you guys. Trees are crazy, super tall. And as I climb, I'm gonna keep my steps small. Calves will burn a little bit, but that's why we did those jumping jacks, those hops in place. We wanna make sure we have those ankles ready to stabilize us as we need. Whew. All right, nice job, you guys. Ooh, big fallen tree. That is massive. Okay. Thank you. Trail etiquette, you guys know this, but make sure to pull off to the side. If you have a big group coming down, usually they'll let you go if you're coming up. But you want to pull off to the side and not cause any problems for other people on there. You know, if you pick somewhere secluded enough, this might not even be an issue, but here you go. You don't need to be rolling an ankle on this run or any run. Really nice job, you guys. Stay with me. Oh shoot, little squirrel. Scared me. Let's get to the tip of this. A little bit. Oh. Remember that arm swing, you guys. Push it up. All right. All right, little camera pass off here. We're almost to our turnaround, guys, which is awesome. I've recruited my mom. She is now helping on the film crew side of things. Just having a little nice lunchtime trail run. If you guys are following along with me from a treadmill or somewhere where you're in place, you're not actually out on the trails, I want you to just kind of use the scenery to channel that tranquility, that peace and quiet. Kind of look around, it's just beautiful out here. All right, I can grab that from her. Here we go. Last little bit before we turn around. Kind of like it because it changes a lot of variation in the ground. You guys will see it's not all rocky, not all roots. There are some places that really kind kind of pancake flat out. And those are the moments where you can kind of sit back, take a look up, get that little bit of sunshine, enjoy. Go. Guys, there are so many animals out here that all depending, you could see a really good show of me interacting with one or two. All right. A lot of water. If you guys are wondering, this is the Ultimate Direction Race Vesta pack. Super lightweight. Can't recommend enough. I actually barely know it's on me. Of course you have the weight. Ooh, more squirrels. Of course you have the weight of the water and any gear you have, but what you don't want is a pack that already weighs a lot before you put the stuff in it. That can just be totally obnoxious and ruin your trail experience. So Ultimate Direction, check them out. I will link below for sure. Chipmunk City. Chipmunks and squirrels. All right, so I am at about 1.1 miles. We're gonna turn around at 1.2. We're gonna round this out about a 2.5 mile run. Like I said, technical trail for a lot of you guys. You know, even if you're on a treadmill right now, if you go to the trails later, just remember that speed should be one of the last pieces of the conversation, especially on a new trail. Get the feel, know where you are, and don't worry too much about PRs and how fast that mile was and everything. It definitely matters. You want to challenge yourself, but you want to get a feel first. So if it's a new area, start slow, save that energy. All right, we're gonna turn around this little bend right here, this little moss patch. All right, and slow it down. I'm gonna take a second, I'm gonna grab a little water, pause my watch. Yes. Just take a second, big inhale. If you guys are following along from a machine or whatever, do the same thing. Grab a quick sip, pause that watch, take a couple breaths, and we're gonna head back. Remember, all the uphills we had are now down, all the downs are now ups. Kind of a nice way to mix that up. I'm less confident on downhill. Let's start it again. But it is a great trail to practice. So here we go. We're gonna turn it around, head back. Awesome. I often find that my breathing is way better the second half. More from the perspective of that I've like filled my lungs already several times. It's almost like warming them up. They've hit that full stretch. And then I'm really ready to go again. And all that. All right. Whew. And so it's just a nice way to kind of feel like, okay, I've been here, I've breathed heavy already. I know what's going on. I have a sense of the climbs and what I have coming up and all that. So I just enjoy being chatty today, but hopefully you guys are enjoying this run. Hope to take you on a lot more of them as I feel out my training trails for this 100-miler in October. Little bench to sit. Guess if I need a rest, look out for those because a lot of trails actually put them in. Super nice. Alright. I always love going back too because, you know, you're going back and you already know what's coming up. It's that second half. You can really push it on the last few minutes, which we'll do. You guys can probably even hear, but my footing evens out quite a bit in the second half. Again, I found my rhythm, my hips feel warm enough to stay forward. And it's not that kind of agony of feeling out your run form that you get in those first couple minutes of your run. So now we're feeling pretty stable. Remembering to drive those knees, pick your feet up. Like I said, even if you're not on trail, you want to get that pulling motion going, hamstrings engaged. You have a lot better long-term success with that run form. Less pressure on the hips, ankles and knees, and that's what we want. So one thing, you guys, that I love about running is it clears your brain, your mind, your thoughts in a way nothing else does. You know, my mom, who's running with me today, she's visiting. She was telling me how she's run off and on her whole life. She actually did the 30-day challenge and loved it. But she was saying how in her work, most of her best strategic ideas come from running because there's nothing else to clutter her thoughts, and it's almost easier to see a big picture of something or the direct goal. And that's something that I love about that meditative experience in the run. It can really lead to some great ideas, you know, and just that motivation in something else in your life. You almost tune out. If you were thinking how hard the run was, all of a sudden, you know, 5-10 minutes go by and you haven't even thought about that, which is great. So coming down here, like I said, I'm gonna be careful on the downhills. That's not an area I'm super confident on. And I know that about myself, so I like to just feel this out. All my friends that I run with know that I tell them to go ahead on the downhills. My ego does not mind, you know, making sure I know where I'm going. So, especially on this rocky part. Almost like skiing. I've never even skied, but I just have this feeling that it's like skiing, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that. So one thing about downhills though, if you are super tentative, don't get really grippy with your feet. You know, you end up putting the brakes on really hard and then your body pays for it later. You wanna trust your feet. Take a little bit longer stride. Nate actually did a great video on switching gears. We're gonna pull over one sec. Pause that. And he talks about how you can really change your speed and your footing and your stride length based on if you're downhill, uphill, or a flat, which is cool. All right. Getting a little sun, a little break here in the trail. Guys, I keep forgetting to pause and start my watch and all that, so you just have to trust me that we ran for 20 minutes. We're gonna go a little over, but about 20 minutes and about 2.5 miles for me. Again, we're gonna make sure we're at that red, or I am, because I gotta get us back to the car somehow. Go. All right, runners, we are almost at the lot. Here we go. To finish super strong. Don't give up now. I want you to stay with me. If you're thinking about slowing down, don't do it. Look both ways. Final steps. The end is near. We did it. Take you all guys all the way back. We're gonna hit a short little cool down. So wherever you are, start to slow things down in a minute. Last deep breath. Finish it off strong. Here we go. Final push. We're gonna hit that late that little house there, a little covering. Woo! All right, you guys, just walk it out. Really nice job. That was not an easy one. I know that a lot of you might have been following along from a different area, different space. I hope that did something for you. I hope it just helped you kind of check out a little bit, get some tips while we were running. Sorry if I talk too much, but I love bringing you guys along. Like I said, we're gonna hit a quick 2-minute stretch out, cool down. I will send you off on your way. Really nice job. All right, just gonna unhook here. I'm gonna have to set you guys down for this. Oh, got it. And I like to take this off for the cool down, just so you can really stretch it out more. Take that out. All right. Okay, so we're gonna hit those hamstrings, we're gonna get those calves, and of course we'll get those shoulders and arms. Here we go. All right, so we're just gonna go wide legs here. We're gonna start with that little hamstring, back and forth. Just start one knee and shin area to the next. Working your way down. Let's grab both shins right here. You're gonna take a little squat stretch. Push those hips up, little squat stretch. Push those hips up. One more time, over to the left, over to the right. Stand it up. I want you guys to just go big arm swings up and back, forward and back, stretching that chest. If you had a pack on, you can probably feel tightened and kind of just cinched around the shoulders. We want to just open that up. So just forward and back here. Just move it around. Some people like to take the last half mile to kind of walk it out and get some blood flow that way, just in that walking position before you get back in the car and get all stiff again. You know how that goes. All right, I want you guys to just again, circle the ankles a couple times on the right. Whew, sweaty today. Step it down, over on the left. Waiting for my mom to get back, she should be close. And then we're gonna just stretch the calves. So I'm just gonna be pressed up on the back of the car here. I'm just gonna drop my foot back so you guys can see basically the heels just down that standard calf stretch. This gets the back of the soleus gastroc, and then if you bend, you'll get more of the bottom of the Achilles close to that ankle joint and get through there. So what I'm gonna do is just use the back here, stretch it out, bend and stretch, couple of each, switching legs. Again, when you get home, I want you to do full-on mobility rollout. I know I'm gonna do the same to really make sure you got it all done, but this is before you get back in the car, just nice and easy. All right, final things, guys, just figure 4 your leg over. Just like this, I cross my ankle and then sit back. If you can see that, just like that, I can hang on if I need to. Up and down, this will just get the glute, back of the hip, because again, when you sit, you're gonna just lock up wherever your next position is. So if it's a 20-minute car ride, if it's longer, you just don't wanna fall into those bad positions. You're gonna feel like crap when you get home. And the point of the run was not to feel like crap. All right, shaking it out. Now, if you guys want more like this, I am linking right here another follow along run I did. Gorgeous in San Francisco, 20 minutes about. Again, it's more of an interval run. Click over there to see it, and I will catch you guys in there. Have a great day. Nice job.